everyone. Hey, welcome back to the Talking to Teens show. And today we are going to talk about hormones versus respect, your raging hormones as a teenager, and respect. Because, um, I think this when you get in a relationship, and hey, again, you don't have to even be in a relationship to have raging hormones, do you? No, you don't. So I'm going to say this first because really, I think this is actually this here, what I'm going to say right now, first and foremost, is really the main point. So when I'm talking about respect, okay, so yeah, the respect is to the person you're dating, okay? And I know I have a show on this in here somewhere. Okay. You can search this out in to see what the show on respect is. But when I'm talking about your hormones, okay, versus respect, sometimes I think people get confused. Well, actually, I don't even think they get confused. They just kind of put the two separate to where you follow the hormones and you're like, woohoo, let's go. And the respect level kind of gets tossed to the back. So when I said what I'm going to say first, okay, which I think is the main point here, when you are in a relationship, okay, because the person you're dating, I'm talking about their parents, all right? They are trusting you with those hormones. And sometimes I don't know why they are, okay? Because sometimes I think parents get a little too laxed in trusting your hormones. And that can get you into trouble. So when your parents are telling you, no, I don't think you should be going there. I think you should stay home. No, I don't think that's a good idea. Hey, guess what? That's actually good for you. And even though you might be mad and angry, oh my gosh, I just can't believe it. They don't let me do anything. Oh my gosh, I am so mature now and I'm not a baby anymore. Well, you're right. But you know what? As a baby, you didn't have raging hormones, did you? No, you didn't. So as a teenager, you know what? Things are a little bit different. And now that you might be dating someone, okay, even though I said, right, you don't have to be dating someone in order to have raging hormones. No, no, you don't. So, but when it comes to hormones versus respect, so really that's what I'm kind of talking about. That's kind of what I'm referring to is the respect that you have for guys, her parents. Okay, because really truly this is really on the guy. Okay, it doesn't mean not on the girl, but I'm going to say this to the guy first. The mom and the dad are trusting you with their sweet, precious, beautiful daughter. And they're trusting your hormones, that you're not going to be a hornball and trying to be all up on their daughter all the time when they're not looking, or even when they are looking, that you're in the living room, you're watching a movie. And what are you doing under that blanket? Hand check. How about a foot check? Okay. And also, even if she is pressuring you and pushing you and doing things that really, you know what, married people do, and she shouldn't be, what is your respect for her, guys? Okay. Are you going to jump in and be like, woohoo, well, hey, she wanted it and she wanted me. So I just had to be the good guy that I am. And I just had to help her out a little bit there. So no, you don't. Okay. No, you don't, because that's not necessarily the good guy. Okay. No matter how beautiful, cute, and all those things she is. All right. That is not your wife. So you don't need to be acting like she is your wife. Not today. All right. And probably not in the next few months either. So, what is your respect level when it comes to the raging hormones? Okay. So, what are you throwing out? Are you throwing out the respect like later, or are you like, gosh, as much as I want to go there, I am not going to do that. Okay. It's a difficult situation. And here's the thing, just don't put yourself in the situation. So, like I said, when your parents are telling you, I don't think you should go there, I don't think you should do that, I don't think that's a great idea, then maybe you need to be listening. Yeah, you might get mad. Okay. Make it a brief mad, like a 10-second mad. Okay. And then move on and think to yourself, oh, okay, you know what? My parents actually do maybe care about me, because you're not going to know that maybe right now, maybe not even until you have a child yourself. So when you get older, so these things that I'm saying right now, this might not even be something that you even think about that's going to help you definitely anytime soon. But that's part of the maturity, and that's why you have parents. Okay. So that your parents can see around that corner. Your parents can see the good, the bad, and the ugly and give you the direction that you need because, hey, they know that's their job. All right. And you do need to, you know what, you do need to listen. Okay. I'm sorry, but you do. All right. So those are things that your parents are trying to help you out with. And here's the thing, they don't always know how to say it in the right way. Uh, they're just trying to say it because you know what? They don't know how to say things because maybe you're the first one. Maybe you are the first teenager. You're the first one that has been dating someone. And you know what? It's a new thing for them as well, for them to have these experiences as well, knowing what the boundaries are also, and even knowing where does the hormones and respect go? Because generally, if you just give into the hormones, okay, then really the respect is kind of out the door. And even though she might want to, he might want to, and you're thinking, well, you know, because see, when you're in the moment with the hormones, you're not thinking about anything else. You're not thinking about, well, you know what, is this a really good idea? You know, you might be a little bit in the sense like because you're scared a little bit, especially if you haven't gone that far before. So you're scared, you're nervous, you're, oh my gosh, but are you really um to thinking to the point to where it's going to stop you? Are my parents going to be mad at me? Are my parents thinking that this is a good idea? Or is it like, my parents are going to be so mad? Oh my gosh, but no, who cares? Not that way. See, that's two different things, isn't it? To where like, oh gosh, you know what? I probably shouldn't do this. I'm not going to do this. And then, if it's, hey, it's okay. It's all right. It's okay. I'm going to be all right. I'm going to be gentle. It's okay. I'm not going to do anything you don't want me to do. Yeah. Okay. So that might be the best time for you to say, okay, great. Then this is not what I want to do. And then skedaddle your cute little self out of there. All right. Now, okay. Again, when I'm saying that, like that is mainly for the guy. But hey, you know what? Girls are super aggressive too, aren't they? Yeah, they are. So I'm not just pinning this on the guy. Okay. Because girls, hey, you have raging hormones also. Okay. And sometimes for the girl, it's like really extra raging hormones to where her mood is super like, holy smokes. Where did that come from? Where your family is like on eggshells. So when you are in a relationship, so yeah, those eggshells now move to the guy, don't they? Guys, you know what I'm talking about. If you have a girl that's like super raging hormones, so that can be where just anything sets her off. Oh my gosh, you have to be constantly pleasing her, and see where like the respect comes in there, to where you want to be nice, you want to be gentle, because some girls are way worse than others, and some, they're not too bad. So guys, hey, you don't have to date a girl like that, all right? If her hormones are so crazy out of whack, holy smokes, all right, you don't have to date her. You can say, bye bye, I don't think this is going to work out. And here's the thing, the sooner you do that, the sooner you break up, the sooner you end that chaos and that crazy train, the better it's going to be for you and for her. Okay. So, not just for you, but definitely for her too. Okay. Because here's the thing, way too many teens stay in a relationship that they know they shouldn't be in, like way too many. And so many times they do it because, you know what? They don't want to be lonely. I don't want to be lonely. I don't want to be the only one. Well, sometimes it's okay to be lonely. Sometimes it's okay to be the only one without a relationship. You know what? That is definitely not a bad thing. So if you are listening and watching this show right now and you don't even have a relationship, woohoo for you. Yippee skippy. All right. If I need a little popper to give like little confetti and little confetti party going on there, because there is nothing wrong with you. That is totally okay. And actually, in my personal opinion, you are way better off to not be dating in high school. So, those of you that are single, you know what? Give yourself a high five. Woohoo! All right. It's okay. Good for you. And those of you, because hey, even when I'm saying you don't have to have raging hormones in this respect, okay? Uh, Even if you're not in a relationship, that is something that can also be true. All right. So that's just in friendship, right? How do you respect your friends' parents? How do you respect yourself? How do you respect your friendship, period? And really, truly, that number one thing is really what? Respecting yourself, isn't it? So that's if you're in a relationship, if you're not, whatever your friendships. Now, when I'm saying relationship, I'm talking, right, boyfriend, girlfriend, aren't I? So not just friendship with someone. And this isn't just a teenage thing. This goes into adulthood too. But here's the thing. The more control that you have as a teenager, then the way better you will be as an adult. The more you can control the raging hormones, because it's a choice, all right? Whether you give in and just, you know what, who cares? All right, let's go, baby. The more you do that, then the more you will do that as an adult. You need to rein it in, and you need to just have the feelings, have the emotions, have those things, but then peer your cute little self out of there. All right. And that's even in person. If it's a conversation, if it's on your social media stuff, you need to end that kind of conversation, because the more you are talking about it, then the more likely you will be engaging in it. All right. Okay. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, yeah, you do. And if not, you can message me. You're teenagers and you will find me. Okay. I already know it. You will find me. So that's what you need to think about. All right. There is not something wrong with you if you're not having talks like that, conversations like that, or if your friend is and you're not, because what's that relationship going to be? Do you really truly want that kind of relationship? Because that's what you need to think about also. When I do get in a relationship, because it's this, when I am going to think about getting married, all right, what kind of person do I want to be when I get married? And what kind of person do I want to marry? Because what? We marry who we date, don't we? We just don't randomly just marry someone. Definitely not in our American culture. Okay. Some cultures, yes, they do, but not in America that I'm aware of. Okay. So, hey, correct me if I'm wrong. But who do you want to be? What is it that you want with your own self-control? Okay. Are you just gonna just jump into everything out there and whatever everybody else is doing, and it's not a big deal for you, because you want to fit in, you want to be like everybody, you want to go with the flow like everybody else is doing? What is the respect that is for yourself? What is the respect that you would have for others? All right, because that is very, very important. Definitely, because that matters. And even though you might be someone that has been kind of disrespectful, and when I'm saying even this disrespectful stuff, okay, respect and disrespect, don't be fake respectful. Okay. Now, hey, I'm not saying every single teenager and every teenager that is in a relationship that they're totally fake and oh my gosh. But is what I am saying is sometimes teens can be like fake respectful to the parents, that they have the parents kind of, wrapped around their finger, and oh yeah, your parents love me. But then once you walk out of the door, and you're with their child, okay, their son, daughter, you're totally disrespectful. So just because the parent doesn't know what you're doing, that does not mean that you are respectful to the parent. And then again, to that person, okay, the person that you're dating, the person that you're friends with, the person that you are hanging with. Because it's not always necessarily just in the dating relationship, it's just in general. So, for those of you who are the Christian, okay, because sometimes it's just a word that they're throwing out there because that's what they say and because they go to church. So to me, there's a difference between the Christian, all right, and a Jesus follower. So the Jesus follower, and whether or not you are that, or the Christian, okay, God sees you, doesn't he? So whether or not, wherever you proclaim yourself to be, God sees you. So it doesn't matter how young you are and you're saying these things out there, you're professing this stuff and you've said it. But what is your lifestyle? What are the things that you are actually doing and saying? All right. So even though you may be fooling someone's parents, God sees you. All right. God sees you. He knows your heart already, so he knows your motives. The parents may not know your motives with their son. Okay, girls? All right, because girls have motives too. So this isn't just for the guy. So guys, yeah, you know what? God sees your motives. Even though the parents may not, and they might just be like, oh my gosh, he's so cute, because really it's the mom that would be like that for the guy. He's such a nice looking guy, and he's so cute, and he's just so nice. And the dad's like, what? You know what? He used to be nice until he started dating my daughter. And then sometimes there's guys that don't even give a rip. So, you know what? I don't know where that relationship falls for you, but you just don't know. And sometimes the mom doesn't care either. And they don't care what their daughter's doing and they don't care what their son is doing. They just like, okay, whatever, go ahead. Get. You know what? That's what teens do. They have sex and they drink and they party. So get on out there and I'm going to go ahead and buy it for you. So there's parents that do that stuff too. But again, where is your respect for yourself? Where's your respect for that girl? Where's your respect for that guy? Okay. Because at some point in your life, that is going to come and be something that you will have to answer to, whether it be to a sibling, whether they're older or younger. Okay. Especially your younger brother or sister. They really are watching everything that you do, everything that you say. And even though that you aren't paying attention, oh, they definitely are. And even if it's your neighbor, okay, and these little people live by you, they are watching you. They definitely have. They go to school with you. They have any sort of a connection that is to you. They are watching you. So again, what is your respect, okay, for yourself? What is it? Because that respect reflects in the things that you say, what comes out of your mouth. It reflects in what you wear, doesn't it? Yes, it does. And you might not think so, but it does. It reflects on how you treat that girl you are dating, guys. Okay. Girls, it reflects on how you treat that guy that you are dating. And for her too, if you're super controlling and bossy and pushy, like you want your way and that's the only way. So if the guy's not going to comply with you, then you get mad and angry and you kind of threaten maybe breaking up. Well, I don't want to see you. That is an unhealthy relationship. Then that's how you know that, hey, guess what? Maybe Shauna, what she is saying is true. Maybe I shouldn't be in a relationship right now, because it's a maturity thing. When she is acting like that all of the time, it's a maturity thing. And you know what? She might be a little bit too immature to be dating. And the same for you. You do not have to be dating these people. Okay. All right. All right. So when you come back to what? Respect and your raging hormones. All right. Which one is overpowering you? Which one is maybe over the other one in just life, period? Your job and how you act, on how you treat people, on what you do. So, what's happening? What's taking place? And what are you going to do about it? Okay. So that's another thing too, huh? Right. So we may have just talked about it. So now you're like, okay, well, hey, that is me. And I have had those things. So maybe there's something that you have done that has helped you. So, hey, guess what? You can let me know. All right. That'd be super fantastic, because I really do want to know what you think. And I really do want to know what you have done about those things. So if you do have the raging hormones and you are in a relationship or a situation, okay, that you've put yourself in because you've gone to this party and this cutie pie, hottie pants, whatever, you have kind of hooked up, got together. But now you're thinking, oh my gosh, you know what? I don't want to be in that situation again. Well, then you have to stop yourself from getting in the situation, because again, see, the raging hormones, suck you in, don't they? Oh yeah, they do. And you're like, oh my gosh, but look. And then you just keep going and going and going, following that. But then you have to stop the raging, okay, before it gets too deep. So that's what you have to do when you know that is coming, especially if you've done these things already before. So you kind of know the pattern, you know the feelings, you know the motion that will get you there. So then you have to stop it before it gets you past that certain level. Okay. So you have to stop that. So what you do, yeah, hey, you walk away, you go away. And even though you like the attention, even though you are loving every bit of it and you're just absorbing it, you still need to walk away, end the conversation on your social media. Hey, you know what? I'm done talking about this. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to have this conversation. Nope. This is a little bit too much for me right now. Sorry. Because if you don't stop it, and you continue with this person, it's going to continue to go deeper, deeper, deeper. Okay. So wherever it stopped, then the next time you are in that conversation with that person, it's going to keep going. It's going to start where it stopped, and it's going to continue to go deeper and deeper and further. Okay. And again, you might like the way you feel. You might like the things that they're saying. You might like all of those emotional feelings and just the feelings, period, you might like that, but it could take you down a path that you know what, that you might regret, that you wish that you would not have done. So you have to stop that, all right, in the beginning. If it's something that you are in person with, yeah, you know what, you do have to walk away. You do have to say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not having that conversation. We are not going to talk like that with each other, okay? That's what you do to end those little raging hormones. You probably need to stop making out so much. Okay, because what? Those are the hormones, isn't it? Those are the little raging hormones that get even more raging. So then they start to take over the um the true respect, okay? Now I'm not saying that you can't have respect and in a relationship if you are making out, okay? I'm not saying that. But here's what I am saying. It does start to eliminate the thoughts of clarity, okay? The should I really be doing this? It's I shouldn't really, I don't want to. And if you don't want to, then don't. All right. And don't be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do that. And you're laughing and making jokes and all that stuff. Okay. Because that's not the really, I don't want to. That's the, yes, I do want to. I'm just kind of saying that, don't want to. But I do want to. So keep on. Okay. So it's stop. I'm not doing this. Nope. Can't do this anymore. No, no, thank you. No, 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 no. All right. And then don't. So that's the thing too. Then don't. Then don't keep pushing your own self. Then don't. Then say, no, I really don't want to do this. So we have to stop doing that. And if you are with someone and they really do not respect your decisions, seriously, you need to not date that person. Okay. And if it's just your friendship, you need to really eliminate this friendship. Okay. You can be nice to them, say, hey, what's up? Stuff like that. But you need to really eliminate hanging out with that person. All right. Because they're not respecting you. And here's the thing. What's the respect for yourself? See? Right. And that's not being selfish. So when you have respect for others, you are not being selfish. Okay. Because respect is, yes, like others first, isn't it? And I'm talking in a good manner, not in them being selfish, okay, and doing selfish things and their actions being selfish and you're just giving in and going along with that. So that's not respect either, okay? If they don't respect themselves and they don't respect you, that's a friendship that, yeah, that okay, maybe as you guys get a little bit older, maybe a couple of years down the road, that you can become friends and really start hanging out again. But sometimes it's even a thing that you have to not even just be friends with that person. And yeah, I do got to say, sometimes the teenage years are extremely lonely. And extremely just like, oh my gosh, I don't have any friends. Nobody wants to do anything. And I don't have a boyfriend. I don't have a girlfriend. And, I'm just kind of here hanging out with my family. Oh my gosh. Well, hey, your family should be your number one thing. It doesn't mean you shouldn't have friends. It means you can't have friends or, whatever this relationship stuff. But really just think about the reason why you want a relationship. Why do you want to have a boyfriend? Why you want to have a girlfriend? Think about those things. And if you are, is it just because the guy is cute? Because she's woo pretty hot? So what is the reason why you're even with the person that you are? Do you truly respect that person? Do you? So those of you that are in that relationship right now, do you? And do you really respect yourself? Because do you? Those are questions that really, hey, I would love to have you answer that to me. Okay. You can reply on this platform that you're watching this and listening to this show. Or even remember this too. Are you even truly respecting her parents, guys? Are you truly respecting them? Because like I said, they're trusting you. So when I'm saying that, like, I truly mean that they are trusting you. They are trusting your hormones to be with their daughter because you just picked her up. Now you're going, to the movie. You're going where? To the mall, shopping. You're just going to go hang out. You're taking her and you guys are going to go to a friend's house. That car ride, they're trusting you. How fast are you driving? Are you seriously with your eyes on the road or are you on your social media? Are you busy being distracted by the person sitting next to you? So what? Because the parents are trusting you. Okay. So the same for the girl. Girls, hey, all right. Are you really truly respecting his parents? Because are you? Or are you just trying to get in good with the mom and become her friend. And then, you kind of get the latches in there so that the mom trusts you because, oh, she's a really good girl. I really like her. We can be friends. But really, then you turn around, you backstab the mom, and you can't stand her, and you're talking trash about his mom all the time. Like, oh my gosh, just can't believe her. She's just so stupid. She's just so dumb. I just can't believe how she does these things. No, that is not respect. That is not respecting his mom at all. Are you respecting his dad? Are you? By the way you dress, because you know what? People can see the things the way that you are wearing them. And yeah, guys are very visual. And not that girls aren't nowadays, especially with all the social media platforms that are out there and the constant videos. So it has triggered into their own brain a very high visual. But guys, just naturally, the instinct is visual. So guys, are you respecting the girl by just looking at her finer qualities? Or are you like turning away? Nope, I'm not going to look at that. I'm not going to have my eyes go there. And girls, again, are you respecting yourself, respecting his dad by the way you dress? Are you respecting his parents by the things that they say to him and what they would want for him, and not the pretend, okay? Respect. So then you say to your boyfriend, yeah, you know what? Your parents don't want us to do that. Guys, girls, the same thing. That's how you respect the parents. No, I know they said that they didn't want you to do that. Not, well, they said that they didn't want you to, but they don't know, do they? They're not going to know that you did. That's not respecting the parents, okay? So that's what you need to think about. And if you have done those things, you might need to apologize to your boyfriend, girlfriend, okay? You know what? I haven't been that great of a boyfriend to you. I haven't been that great of a girlfriend to you when I've said, let's go and do these things. When I have done these things, whatever it might be, okay, you say it. Don't just say when I've done things, you call it out. When I haven't dressed appropriately in front of your dad, you know what? I'm sorry because I disrespected you as my boyfriend and totally your dad because I don't want your dad looking at me like that. Ew. You shouldn't want his dad looking at you like that. Ew. Okay. You shouldn't. And the same, okay, guys, on how you are respecting her parents. If there's things that you know that you have totally been disrespectful, you need to apologize to your girlfriend. All right. So that is a good thing, to apologize and to be sincere. Oh my golly, please be sincere with an apology. All right. Not just because you watch the show. Okay. Whatever, Shauna, now I got to go and apologize. You apologize because you truly mean it, because you actually really do maybe kind of feel bad about that. All right. Feel a little bit, maybe I shouldn't have done those things. And it's good to apologize and call it out, because then that's not even like lording over you. Okay. That you have that on yourself and you just suppress it. Because when you release it out and apologize, hey, you know what? I should not have done that. I shouldn't have acted like that. You're going to feel better. And that's an integrity issue. You feel better because you apologized. Okay. It doesn't have to be to every single person, whatever. Hey, but maybe it does. I don't know. You'll know. So don't ignore that feeling that you feel like, okay, I really probably should. Don't ignore that feeling. Go and do it because it's an integrity issue, whether you're a girl or a guy. All right. Girls, don't just expect the guy to do all the apologizing and you just sit there, like, and be mopey and all those things because you want him to apologize to you for what you did. Okay. Even though you were in the wrong, and you want your boyfriend to apologize to you because of what you did that wasn't right. Okay. Did you just hear what I said? That is not even right itself, is it? So it's okay for you to apologize too and be like, wow, I totally should not have acted like that. And you know what? I'm going to work on that because I'm not going to be that kind of girl. Because remember, we marry who we date. So if you're acting like this now, hopefully maturity is going to step in and kick in so that, you're not like that when you get older and when you do marry someone, because you want a healthy relationship in marriage, and it starts with dating. So if you're dating and it's unhealthy, do not date anymore, because you might need to get a little bit more mature and then date later in your life. And hey, guess what? That's okay. If you are not dating anyone, hip hip hooray for you. All right. So again, in friendships, So if that's something that you need to maybe apologize because you were disrespectful to parents, okay, because that's definitely something in friendships that can be very, very much so, that you're nice to the parents, but once that door is shut, you're like a little hellion, aren't you? Doing all these things that the parent just said, hey, please don't do that. And then you're doing them anyway. Yeah, see, you disrespected the parents, didn't you? And you disrespect yourself and you're disrespecting your friend. So think about what kind of friendship you have. Okay. Think what kind of friend you want to be, and think about the friendships that you will even have later on in your life. Because part of that is, what kind of friend do you want to be? What kind of person do you want to be? Do you want your raging hormones to be controlling you? Or taking over your respect level of things? Because even in that, you can have, when I was saying about the girls, you can have those raging hormones because you're like up and down all the time, with certain times of the month where they can get worse. But don't use that as an excuse for you to treat people like dirt either. Okay. Yes, PMS, that kind of stuff can be real, but don't use those things as an excuse because of a monthly time for you. All right. Sometimes that's something that you do have to work through yourself. So, lots of things to think about from this show. And you might need to watch the show a few other times, and feel free to share it with someone also. And hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And I will catch you in the next show.